Welcome to the Running Channel podcast with me, Sarah Hartley, Rick Kelsey and Andy Badley. We're all back together, but better than that, we're in the top 20 for the British Podcast Awards as voted by you.
Yes, that is down to you. Thank you so much for all your votes. But you know, now we've made top 20.
Oh, I want a taste of top 10.
We're up against some really big hitters, and we're incredibly grateful for everyone that has voted because, as we've said, there's a conspiracy against the Running Channel. It's actually quite hard to find us in the menu in order to vote for us.
Yeah, it is. So let's give a little congratulation to all of you that managed to vote for us.
But the votes are still open until September.
Yeah.
So if you would like to support us and the podcast, we would massively appreciate it.
It really helps.
Please go and find the British Podcast Awards and vote for us in the Listener's Choice category because we've hopefully got a real chance of doing really well. So
yeah, we will not rest until we're number one.
Oh, okay. We don't know where we are in the top 20. We could be just scraped in. We're like 19th or 20th.
I reckon we're actually 21st. They just squeezed us in. Someone else dropped out.
Still pretty good. But I'm really excited. I said before this, I was quite emotional just before recording.
We are
I haven't seen you guys in ages.
Yeah.
We recorded a couple of podcasts slightly out of sequence, and then I missed last week. So you did an amazing one with Sean about caffeine, which is brilliant. Yeah. Really long as well, guys. So you waffled on a little bit.
Speaking about long intros.
This is a very long intro. Sorry, we've been on holiday. Rick and I in particular have been on long family holidays and had the dilemma of which shoes to pack and whether or not we should in fact run on holiday or whether to take a well-earned rest. And that's a dilemma that lots of runners face. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode.
Yeah, we're going to share our tips for running on holiday as well, but we're also going to chat about why it might be the perfect time to put your feet up and rest. And in fact, taking some proper rest on holiday might be the best solution.
It might just be, but first, I've got something special for you.
Right, okay, the amount of prep time that Rick has needed for that, and also the restraint of me and Andy to not look over.
Yeah, I thought he was getting changed or getting naked or something, because he was like, don't look. And then we just heard groans and mutterings of, oh my goodness, what have the kids done?
So I went to Parkrun last week, and Spreadsheet Chris, who runs Hell's Fire Parkrun in North London.
Yeah, I think we should just call it sort of slightly warm parkrun. Or like gently smouldering.
Oh my gosh, you know what it is?
Hard, is it?
You know how some people who love baking in their house have those like warming drawers?
Yes. Oh yeah,
that's what it is.
It's like approving.
It's approving.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if it was only approving or slightly warm, you wouldn't have ended up with the bronze medal. And Sarah, you wouldn't have ended up with the silver medal.
Do we actually get medals?
Won the gold medal.
Why did you win a gold
Because
medal?
this is the opposition that we finished in Hell's Fire Parkrun.
Yeah.
So pop your and look at the engraving on the medal. So we've just been handed out medals from Spreadsheet Chris, run director at Hell's Fire.
Oh,
and it
these are
says
lovely.
you completed Hell's Fire Parkrun on the 12th of 7th of 2025.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is it? It says TRCPS. So is that the Running Channel podcast series, race 1?
Correct.
Oh, stop it! We've got and Rick's bought a little
and the TRC presenter series race 1. So there it has our times. So
Rick's
the gold medal with me,
in.
23:49. The silver medal for Sarah, 23:50, just a second behind, and a further second behind Andy Badley, the Olympic runner, on 23:51.
I will point out that we weren't first, second, and third in that actual parkrun.
No,
just amongst ourselves.
This is the TRC.
We were fairly guaranteed to be on the podium, weren't we? At least.
True.
With ourselves. Can we talk about the point scoring here, though?
Yes, so 20 points for me, 10 points for you, and 5 for Andy.
Sorry, there's a 10-point discrepancy between first and second, and there's only a 5-point discrepancy between second and third.
Spreadsheet Chris.
And you've got
Chris is the run director. He's in the TRC.
Spreadsheet Chris has been bribed.
You've met him. He doesn't miss a beat. Spreadsheet Chris.
He really doesn't.
No.
However, I feel like you've heavily influenced the scoring.
This is better than some of the medals that I won for some pretty big races.
You won a medal.
When I saw him last week.
Hey.
You got to say this is impressive.
Hang on,
that he put this together.
This is so good. Thank you, Chris.
So one of the first races that I was on the podium for was the first time around the Dream Mile. So the big mile in Oslo.
Yeah.
That I bang on about all the time because it was like my career highlight. But I did it the year before I won it, I came third. And it turns out the person who won actually then subsequently tested positive for some kind of banned substance.
So did you get moved up?
No, I didn't, because they couldn't prove that they were cheating in that race. I don't think.
So annoying.
But I got on the podium, and then they gave, you think, oh, what am I going to get? And I got a plate, which I've still got in a beautiful sort of blue presentation box. But it was a plate with Jonathan Edwards on it.
No way.
The triple jumper, which was pretty cool, actually. But it's It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But it's because he'd set a record in that.
Why didn't you get moved up?
love
Because
it.
I noticed recently that I think it was the 4x400 British team from the late 90s, including Roger Black, who I've interviewed a couple of times.
Yeah.
Nice guy. They were recently awarded at a UK athletics meet an upgraded medal from the late 90s.
Yeah, 90s,
silver. They got promoted to gold because the team who won it, who I think were
Probably the US. Yeah.
were proved to have had doping violations and now got it. So why isn't yours being moved up?
Because it's really hard to. For example, my Olympic, I finished 9th in the Olympic final in 2008, and I'm now 8th on the official results because Rashid Ramzi, who won, tested positive in a window in which they decided to. I don't know whether they actually tested positive at the games or close enough after the games that they basically have to agree at what point the disqualification of results goes back to. Because if you test positive, all the athletes would probably say, well, everything should go. But that's not how it works because you can't prove someone was cheating 5-10 years ago.
So how did they prove it in the case of the 90s 4x40?
I actually don't know the details of that one, but it's most likely that maybe someone's admitted it or it's just taken ages in the kind of, or it's been the case that they've known for a while, but actually the logistics of, I don't know whether they had to actually physically get medals back or whether they reproduce new medals.
I see. So basically, it's a time thing. So Sarah and I could be sitting here in 2 years' time and you could have an Olympic medal.
Well, I'd have to have a lot of people get disqualified.
For example,
the same person that...
Yeah, but by the looks of some of the recent doping claims...
Only 5 people
anything's
to go.
possible.
Hey, well, but the same thing... Well, because one of the other people who was in front of me in Beijing has also tested positive. But they tested positive way later. So their result in Beijing still stands. And then actually the year before...
Technically, you could be 7th.
Well, maybe. And then the 2007, the World Championship final... The same guy who won my Olympic final in 2008, I think was 2nd in 2007, but he still stands on those results because of the way that the.
How would you feel now if you were awarded a bronze for that race?
I mean, I'd be buzzing. I'd be buzzing to get it eventually, I suppose. But by the way, let's look at the reality here. I'm sure not everybody in front of me was cheating. I know one person was. Obviously, that's been proven.
Thinking.
But yeah, how would I feel? I mean, I've obviously would feel massively robbed of like 20 years of my life where I wasn't a medalist. And but let's be clear, I'm not a medalist.
That's a standard joke.
But Andy, Sarah and I joking about this, but there was a study, but it was from back in 2011.
Yeah.
And they anonymously surveyed athletes at the World Championships.
Daegu, yeah.
And 57% admitted to doping.
Yeah, and this was of all of the athletes at the World Championships.
That's the World Championships.
Yeah.
We're going to the World Championships in 3 weeks' time.
Oh my.
It's a staggering number,
that is mind blowing.
I saw, you know what, we'll come back onto this later because this is a perfect little highlight into what we're going to be talking about in a future episode. We're going to do an entire deep dive into doping because we've seen it happen so much recently. It's been in the news so much. And I think it is such an interesting topic, especially when you see athletes coming out and saying, I didn't want to, but I felt like I had to because it was the only way to stand a chance.
Yes.
And when you see stats like 57%, that is staggering. But back to this week's episode, I want to do a little teaser for something that you're going to have to do this week, Rick.
Is this an Insta 360 thing?
It is. We've set you another challenge. This week, we've got a new product for you to test from Insta360. Currently, we're not allowed to say what it is because it's not actually out yet, but you're getting your hands on it first. And this might change the way which you can capture content whilst you're running, namely because, as we all know...
Don't like to hold things.
Don't like to hold things.
I'm still not confident that Rick's entire face will be in shot, for example. So we're going to get some amazing shots of straight up Rick's nose or where he's pointed the camera the wrong way and it's just of his...
On the basis of
just one finger
on the basis of what we do know, though, Insta 360, I'm guessing this is giving a quite global approach to what we can see.
Well, potentially. However, Insta360 is the kind of brand name. They have so many different products, and this update is very, very exciting.
And obviously we're often out filming ourselves for various challenges throughout that's what the running channel's been built on, is taking cameras with us on runs and stuff. So I'm actually really excited to see what nonsense comes back.
I can't wait to get out, and I'm so glad you've mentioned various challenges because a lot of you will listen to this, and when I say the words bleep test, a shudder of fear will go down your spine.
Yeah, sort of.
It might bring you memories, no matter where you are in the world, of the first week back at school, no matter how old you are, where you went into your school gym and cones were placed 20 meters apart and you had to hit a beep, and every 60 seconds a level goes up all the way to 23. Nobody gets to 23, but I think to be a Premier League footballer you have to be at 10. Is that right?
Does it go to 23?
I think it goes to level 23.
Yeah, I think
Beckham completed it.
It was either 10 or 20. David Beckham did definitely did not complete the beep test.
Is that just a rumour?
Completing the beep
I mean, it's not a rumour.
Is it like
I've
a Ross
ever heard.
Barkley rumour from back in the day?
I heard a rumour that Seb Coe completed it, which I'm happy to believe, but I'm not putting David Beckham up there with Seb Coe in his ability to run hard.
But point is, the team did a full bleep test challenge
yesterday.
Yeah. And then I got a bit of FOMO because I was comparing it, and I thought, you know what? I reckon I could beat Sarah.
Yeah, so I was dumb enough to do it twice.
And what happened?
I'm going to let people have to wait and go and watch on social media. But
fine.
what I will say is that, riddle me this, I did it twice and I went to the same level both times. So either I didn't go hard enough the first time, but that still felt pretty hard, or I can only do the bleep test as like a tempo effort.
And we did do it in full sun.
Go all out.
Yeah.
It was
so
very,
hot.
very hot yesterday.
Speaking of heat, how are your holidays? Talk to me.
Because what are you training for, Rick?
I'm training with an Olympian, not you, for a 5K
You've upgraded,
PB.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say that. You never know. I ran. Me and Sarah caught up briefly about this last week. I ran 4 times on holiday, which is unheard of. And you got out as well, didn't you?
I did. Let's combine our catch-ups with our discussion of today's topic and running on holiday. I think that ultimately it comes down to, if you've just finished a goal, just completed something, I think you should take the opportunity on holiday to not stress, not follow a particular routine, maybe take your shoes with you if you want to go for a run or something, but not feel any pressure. I was the slight opposite in the way that we've planned stuff. My half marathon at the time of recording this today is in 4 days' time. And I only came back from holiday 3 days ago. So it was very much, you
had to train on holiday.
Yeah, it was the last 2 weeks of the last 3 weeks of my training. And so I knew what I needed to do. I took 2 pairs of shoes, standard, one for my easy runs, one to warm up in and put in a bush, and then one for running my faster intervals. But I hadn't planned where we were going on holiday based around my running. That would be a step too far, I think, and potentially divorce worthy.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a holiday, not a training camp. But I was very pleasantly surprised because on my first day at the campsite that we got to, I went out for an easy run and I was just going out and back along the river where we were staying. We were kind in a valley, but the river run was nice and flat, but it was a bit, I wouldn't have been able to run fast along it. But it just so happened that the out point where I was turning around was exactly at a bike rental location with a huge map painted on the side of the cabin. And it turned out that point, which was about a 3K run from our campsite, was a perfect flat cycle route with no traffic on a road surface along the valley.
Perfect.
So that was then my next day's intervals sorted.
Nice.
Would you say you consistently, Sarah, like Andy, run on holiday?
Yeah, I personally am the type of person where I like going out for a run because it's that time in the day where you're not having to talk to people. But even if I do go for a run with someone else, then I don't know, you're out in nature, it just feels a little bit nicer. So for me personally, I will always take a pair of shoes on holiday. I won't necessarily follow a training plan. So at the moment, I'm on a marathon training plan, but I went on holiday last week and it was a deload week. So I just chucked a pair of trail shoes in my bag. I went to Devon, which is not flat at all.
You did a park run there, didn't you?
Willicombe Dunes park run.
Is that the really tough one?
Yeah, you literally
We've done videos on it.
Sand dune. Yeah, and I couldn't really remember what it was like, but yeah, that park run is
it's
no
not
joke.
the toughest
so hard.
statistically in the UK, is it?
No.
But it's one of the toughest.
Yeah, there's another sandy one. Because you run along the beach you run along the beach and it's relatively like compacted, and then you do literally have to go up a sand dune, which no one could run up. Although I was chatting to some people afterwards that were doing it in like 22 minutes.
Oh wow! And there's a lot of
nuts.
Former. Well, I don't know whether pro groups would still do it, pro athletes groups, but it was definitely like a big part of training in the kind of, I don't want to say 60s, 70s, 80s was sand dune training.
Yeah.
I don't know whether people would have worn shoes or not, or would have been barefoot on the dunes. But like,
Oh, interesting.
real
It's
exaggerated
so hard running
knee
on
lift
sand.
and arm drive.
So hard.
Yeah.
I did one in Devon about 2 months ago, on the sand in Devon. It's so tough.
Yeah, but it's so interesting. And that for me, I love running on holiday. I don't necessarily love following a training plan, because if I tried, there was an interval session that I could have done whilst I was away.
Yeah.
And there was absolutely no, even if I tried to do it to effort, there wasn't a flat enough section of road.
Yes.
So it would have just been so hilly, couldn't have done it on the trails. So I was just like, right, I'm going to bin that off and just go for a nice hilly trail run instead.
I think, is a massive kick. So I had this benefit of, I kind of got there and then sent a message to Andy, my coach, to saying, actually, I think I can do more than I thought I was going to be able to do out here. Much to my lovely family's surprise and happiness.
Bye.
No, but I cracked on early and then came back, and we would go and get like croissants from the bakery and
Nice.
like, you know, follow the various French holiday cliches. But it was amazing. So I could do stuff because it was flat. But I think that's the pressure of going on holiday with a training plan, when you can't plan routes and stuff.
Yeah.
Then if, you know, staying up a mountain, or you're just somewhere it's just not possible to, or your only option could be going on a treadmill and things like that. Like, I think
You've got to tweak it.
Yeah, or just be totally flexible, take the pressure off yourself. It is your holiday after all. And think I did have to sometimes rein myself in and because I didn't want to go out so early and train so hard that then by the time it's 9 a.m. and the kids are up and we've got like an exciting day planned, that I'm too tired to actually enjoy my holiday, which is the big holiday of the year, like a lot of people in the summer, where the whole point is to get away from work, to not have to do the washing up in your own house and look at all the stuff that he's kind of piling up on your to-do list, and actually just take away, step back from kind of being tired and the stresses of daily life and stuff. So it depends what you want to get from your holiday. I absolutely wanted some kind of refresh. So I needed to balance the happiness that hitting my training plan would give me and the confidence for the race that I've got coming up, with also like actually being present with the kids and being kind of awake and alert enough to have fun.
I feel like, because this time I did run consistently on holiday, I feel like it improved my alertness, and I actually got more out the day by just doing...
By spending less time with your children.
Correct. Well, we were tag teaming in the morning, so we both do 5K every other day, basically. And I'd go first, and then Chantal would go afterwards. And it actually just gives us a little break from tiny children running around to have a bit of time to yourself.
Do you know the other thing that I was thinking whilst I was on holiday as well? I went to Italy for a week a few weeks ago.
God, you get about.
I know. It's been a great
That's
summer.
what happens when you're in your 20s and don't have children, Rick.
Yeah.
You should do whatever you like.
I was dog sitting in Devon. That was a dutiful holiday.
Yeah.
And then Italy, we went away with two sets of friends who both have children. So technically, that was babysitting.
Yeah,
so I've just been bopping around looking after other people's dogs.
Is this before or after you bought the child snatching van?
Oh, yes. That's right.
Oh, good. We're going to talk about that.
That needs some context.
So currently, me and Tom have one car, but we moved to the countryside, and it's been 5 months, and we've slowly realised that if one person goes away with the only car, the other person is desperately stranded.
Yeah, it's different to having lived in London previously, right? Where
you can just jump
Well,
on.
I still don't know where my car is since I got back.
Yeah, see, that's the beauty of London.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, we do have a little shop, but you can't do a weekly shop. You can't take the dog to the vets. So one of the issues that we faced. When
Rick and I only found this out yesterday, though. So then you showed us a picture of the second family vehicle that you've bought, and it's
for DIY purposes. Tom is renovating our shed.
Yeah,
we both agreed we needed a van.
Yes.
So
unfortunately, the van that we've ended up with, because to buy a van as cheaply as possible, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be like a white van.
Yeah.
Classic, like, builder's van.
Yes.
For some reason, our van has little green strips on the front of it.
Stripes.
Yeah, which does... It's not giving like wholesome second
It's giving
car.
wholesome family vibes.
No.
It's very much giving child catcher from. I can't remember what the film is.
Chitty Bang Bang?
Chitty Bang Bang. Yeah, it's very much giving that. So if you see us
they definitely
driving
didn't
around,
have a white van back then, but it's a sinister vehicle.
Yeah,
So
great.
Good times. That has definitely been a segue. The other things to think about when you're running on holiday, things like talk about terrain and being kind to yourself. And I would encourage people to go back to what's the point of your holiday.
Yeah.
Like, because for loads of us who are runners, I think we'd all admit that we feel a bit unhappy and a bit frustrated if we can't fit our running routine in.
Yeah.
So then you have got to balance that. So if you just decide, I'm not going to run at all for 2 weeks, but then by the end of the 2 weeks, you're going to be grumpy because you feel unfit.
You haven't gone out,
Then definitely balance that with this goal of rest and recuperation of most people's holidays.
Do you know what's hard though is that on holiday I always find myself thinking like, gosh, I've just got so much time now. I could like do all of the runs that I'm never available. But I don't have kids. But like in Italy, for example, like every morning there was like a good hour to 2 hours of time where we weren't going out because kids were being fed and bathed and like stuff was going on. So there was like a solid period of time where I was like, sweet, I can go out and train. I ran, and then halfway through the week I had to stop myself and be like, right, I need to make a decision here. I can either run more than usual or I can run harder than usual because I have more time. I can't do both. So I just did loads of like really easy zone 2 plodding and it was lovely.
The other thing is you've got to adapt though, haven't you? Because, and I did mention this briefly in another podcast, that if you need to do strength and conditioning work and get to the gym, often you won't have access to a gym while you're on holiday. I actually went back to my old physio exercises that I've got on, a work plan that was emailed to me ages ago, and we're just doing those
bodyweight ones.
Doing those bodyweight ones, the equivalent of single leg presses on a Eurocamp dining table.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing as well. Like, I think there's a step before you even get to the holiday of like, why are you booking the holiday? Because if I can fully relate to some people if you've ever felt like, oh, I'm booking this 2-week holiday, but I'm going to be really annoyed at the end of it if I have lost loads of strength because I haven't been to the gym, or if I go back to my running club and I'm slower because I've had the time off. I do think you need to interrogate that a little bit when you book a holiday, because sometimes I'll go on a longer holiday and be like, this is rest. I'm going to go out and do some easy runs, but I am owning the fact that when I come back, it's probably going to take me a few weeks to get back into it. But if you are in the middle of a training plan, then that probably is a factor, because you don't want to go on a beautiful holiday and then come back and just be really, is that a word? Irked off when you get
just
back.
Irked, I think.
Really irked when you get back because you're just not where you want to be.
Well, I used to take when I was competing, I used to take my 2 weeks. I used to have 2 weeks of no running, and that was usually when the season finished. Often for me, that was late September, and so that was when I'd have my summer holiday, 2 weeks of no running until we'd go somewhere and just have no pressure to do running. But I remember even being on some of those holidays and having finished the season with like some kind of Achilles issue or whatever. Then you're going away and you're sort of still thinking, well, if I don't do that rehab for this next 2 weeks, like I'm going to be so far behind when I come back.
Yeah.
So it is a balance. You've also got to think about things that are obvious, but we're all idiots sometimes on holiday, where you think, I'm going to have a lie-in. But then by the time you wake up, it's actually pretty hot.
Yeah.
So most of us are chasing the sun for a holiday. So you've got to take into account sun cream. You don't want to get sunstroke from your runs.
Hydration.
Hydration.
Getting out earlier than normal.
So I was running.
Making sure you can finish your run at the ice cream shop.
Yes, very good.
Very important.
Yeah.
First round of ice cream of the day.
Yeah. One of 3.
But imagine setting yourself up for failure by going out a little bit later than you should, and it's already 20 plus degrees, and doing a really long run and getting slightly lost because you're somewhere new.
Yeah.
And then not having the hydration with you and not having money to buy a drink, and then coming back, and then you've got a day, depending on the type of holiday you've got, where you might be sat by the pool in the sun, or going to the beach, or spending the day walking around a hot market or bazaar or something. Like, you're just going to dig yourself a hole by going somewhere really hot and not looking after yourself, and then trying to do a full day of tourist stuff.
I suppose it's not just when you go abroad on holiday as well. I find, because this is my first summer holidays of having kids following the school term.
Yes. It's the first time you've had to remortgage to go on holiday.
Exactly. Yeah, because you've got to follow. You've got 6 weeks. Everybody goes then.
Yeah.
And obviously, the school day isn't as long, and you've got to put them in kids clubs and stuff. I think a lot of runners who have kids will actually struggle during the summer holidays to keep any form of routine, because you don't have those extra hours to go to the gym.
It's a challenge,
to go for a run in the morning. We've been back a week, and childcare commitments. I can only get Carol Kelsey down
for so many weeks.
That
is hard.
So you might be somewhere hot, so you got to wear the right kit, and you got to do it at the right time and not get over stressed by the heat. But also, you're running somewhere new, and probably, unless you're on holiday with a big group of people, you're going out for a run on your own.
Yeah.
So that's a consideration too of like, I suppose, safety, and also not getting lost. Whether you're going to run with your phone to make sure you can actually find your way back, or you're running with a watch that will help you route your way back. So just being sensible about the routes that you plan, and you know your local area pretty well. You know where you feel safe running. You know how to find your way home. None of those things are true in these new areas. And just because you are somewhere beautiful doesn't mean it's necessarily safe to be out there on your own.
Yeah. I think also as well, just factoring like the people you're with, whether that's friends, family, a partner. I think I'm a very independent person, and Tom will attest to this, of like, it takes me a while to get into the holiday mode of we're doing stuff together.
Yes.
That the morning, it does need to be a discussion of like what you're doing in the morning, because we're plans for the day and you might hold the other person up.
Yeah.
So factoring that in, my favourite thing to do is to run like a point to point and then meet the other person there. Not so great if you're going to be like walking around a town, but for a beach holiday, for example,
you can get straight in the city.
Hey guys, I'll run to the beach and I'll meet you there.
And they bring your stuff with you.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, that's the win.
So good.
Yeah, that's
so
a good shout, actually. I hadn't really thought about doing that. I don't think I could have just set my kids off and meet them at the...
Go kids, I'll see you there.
My pack mules as they take all my stuff down to the beach.
I thought you were going to say that you would have like gone to the bike shop with the kids and then they could have been on bikes whilst you're running. But I guess not ideal in a session.
We did think about I genuinely did think about that, but I wasn't sure, you know, it was just too big a... I have had one or two of them on the bikes with me before, and, you know, you get half an hour into a 60-minute run.
Yeah.
And they're like, my legs hurt. Yeah. or like, this is boring. Or they fall off and hurt themselves.
Yeah,
and I'm not in a position to... Obviously, I would stop and help them.
Yeah. And I'm just not in a position to stop because I've only got 60 seconds
of
recovery.
Imagine I was like, well, yes, you've raised your knee, but, you know what they say about riding a bike, get back on. Like,
I'll see you up there. Yeah. I've got a 1K rep.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you in my float.
Yeah. Oh, imagine. No. I did not do any of those things.
That's something I can see Rick doing.
Yeah. There's one note we've got here as well. I know Rick wants to come in, which is just saying about safety and routes and stuff. There's a lot of hotels that are becoming a bit more aware of this and might have pre-planned Strava routes or things that they can provide you with.
Even like little cards.
Yeah, or actually like a lot of holiday locations for families in particular will have a cycle route map.
Yeah.
And that helps you join up a lot of different bike paths, which often are away from traffic and brilliant places to run. So that can be a good tip, is ask the local people for knowledge, because that's more likely to get good results.
When on holiday, a lot of us will still label our runs on Strava.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've put together, well, Owen has.
I was literally like, you're not claiming this.
A little quiz for you two.
Yeah.
With some Strava titles from Running Channel presenters while they've been on holiday.
Ooh.
Only posts while they've been on holiday. Now, it's your job to guess
work out
who wrote these.
We don't have our buzzers. What's your buzzer noise going to be?
Are we buzzing in first?
No, you can just go. You just get one shot each.
Oh, we just get one guess. Okay.
One shot each. Yeah. Okay. So the first one: more miles on the Welsh coastal path.
Mark.
Very good.
I win.
Interesting.
The best way to explore in love. No, my rental helmet didn't match my shoes, and yes, it was still a magical ride.
Jess.
Correct. Oh God, you're good at this.
It was written in such a kind of, or maybe it's the way that you read it out as well.
Yeah.
It was written in kind of such a sing-song, happy way.
Yeah, maybe I should not be like the person. Okay, here's one. Afternoon run.
Rick, Kelsey.
Yeah. Or Tom. Just hasn't bothered, doesn't care. I've got more respect for that.
Did it in the afternoon.
If you're on holiday, maybe
you
shouldn't. If you're on holiday, maybe you shouldn't be messing about with these Strava titles.
That's half the fun. You have more time to put more energy into your Strava title.
Speed ramped up a bit and felt good. Now just need to get back in the gym and it will all come together.
Oh, Sarah.
Very good, but Sarah didn't guess.
Was that me?
You didn't get yourself.
The speed bit sounded so much
No,
like
I
Sarah.
just couldn't believe I said I wanted to get back in the gym. That's so unlike me.
Oh gosh. Okay, here's one.
It's because you're just lying to all the people on Strava.
Yeah,
just saying the right things. Yeah.
I was saying this to someone yesterday. So me and Tom moved house at the end of February, and at that point we were like, right, okay, we're going to convert our garage into a home gym, cancel my gym membership because that was near where we used to live. Fine, that'll take a couple of months. I'll just take a bit of hiatus, do some bodyweight stuff.
Yeah.
It's now almost the end of August.
Yeah.
Shed's still under construction. That excuse is wearing thin.
Right. Need to find a gym.
Definitely need to find a gym.
Right, here's a couple more. First time I've ever run in the desert.
Who went to the desert?
The desert? Oh my goodness. First time I've ever run in the desert.
I saw this post.
Jess?
Nope.
Ashley?
Nope. Mark.
The desert? Why
Yeah.
did you go to the desert?
He gets about that boy.
Ah,
He does get about.
Desert.
that's very cool.
And final one. Nipple season has arrived.
Rick.
That sounds like a Rick Kelsey one.
Or is it Owen?
It would be if I could figure out how to write it, but it wasn't.
Owen?
Nope.
Nipple season. Is it me?
It's your fella.
Is it Tom?
yeah.
I don't look at his Strava.
I thought you said don't look at his nipples.
I don't look at his nipples.
Well done.
Sometimes I scroll through and I'm like, oh, I should give him kudos.
And it just want to pick on one of Andy's just because it's so Andy, Sarah. Le dernier course en France.
Oh my God. Did you hear about this? So
No.
we had
That was
Owen.
the last run in France. That's true.
So I'm guessing you're probably not caught up on all of our club episodes. I can't remember which one this was, but I think we did a...
So this is the Running Channel Club exclusive podcast episode. Have you been just calling me out?
Yeah. Shout out to last week's episode, actually, which featured Mark. And we were talking all about how to create your own interval sessions, which
Yes.
actually would be very useful on holiday,
Yeah.
where you just have to deal with whatever's in front of you.
Here's
If you
a
do want any of
spider's
them-
web.
and if you do want any of the access to those extra episodes, there's one extra episode every week for the Running Channel Club members. Then subscribe to the Running Channel Club to support us and the channel, and also you get all of the normal podcast episodes too, ad-free.
Yes. So we had Owen on, I think, for one of them. And we were talking about your holiday.
Yes.
And he was like, and we were saying like, oh, I think Andy's training's going well. And Owen just goes, I just can't work it out, to be honest. It's so pretentious that he's writing them all in French.
I've only written the Strava title, activity
Do you know what?
title in French.
Owen's complications with Tokyo are, well, he's obviously injured now. He's got a hip problem as well. But that was supposed to be his heaviest week of running while we're
out at the World Championships
at the World
in Tokyo in a few
Championships.
weeks, yeah.
So he's had to tailor it, talking of, holidays, moving around. He's had to move his tapering to the week before, depending on his injury. But it means he'll be tapering for about a month, which
Sounds great.
seems really long to me.
Yeah, he's running a really long way in this epic challenge. So we're wishing Owen a very speedy recovery. He's actually a little bit poorly today as well. So he's in the wars.
Yeah, get well soon, producer Owen.
Yes. Send
Shall
Owen all of your love.
we talk about a bit of news?
Let's
Yeah.
do it. Now, I mentioned doping at the top, but there's actually some big doping news about today.
So Ruth Chepin-Getich, who was or I suppose at this point still is, the world record holder for the women's marathon, tested positive and has been suspended by, I think, the IAU, which is the international, it's basically the AIU, Athletics Integrity Unit, that polices kind of doping. And then I think yesterday, Fred Curley, the US sprinter, has been provisionally suspended, not for testing positive, but for some kind of technicality. I say it's technicality, it's an important part of the system, which is about whereabouts failures. So you have to declare, all elite athletes, I had to do it as well, you have to say exactly where you're going to be every day, basically, specifically for a 1 hour window. So for me, I used to say from 6 a.m. till 7 a.m. every day I was going to be at my home address, unless I was traveling for races and stuff, and then I'd have to update the system. And then if you're not there, where you say you're going to be for that 1 hour, then that counts as a missed test. And you're only allowed 3 failings of whereabouts within a 12-month period.
So do you have to be that specific about races and locations?
Yes.
So you've got to say, right, from from September the 11th to September the 20th, I'm going to be at this meet.
Yes.
Oh, that's a
So
bit of
you-
holiday
so
admin,
your
isn't it?
your
Isn't
whole
it?
year, is that planned out?
No, because you can update it every day. So you
I
don't have
see.
to so you would submit, so I would submit, I think you do it, when I did it, I used to do a quarter at a time. And so I would just submit a generic quarter of races I knew I was going to be at, but generally it just said 6 a.m. till 7 a.m. every day at my home address.
Yeah.
And then I would give regular training addresses as well. But like the only ones when I was doing it that counted against you was if you were, so because they can show up outside your time as well. So they could show up, if my time was 6 a.m. till 7 a.m., they could show up at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And they did used to do that. So to kind of catch people unawares. But if you're not at your home address at 8 p.m. and that's not your 1 hour slot, then that doesn't count against you. That's not really fair. Because
Right.
you haven't told anyone you were definitely going to be there.
I see.
But if you're not definitely where you said you were going to be
At that time.
at this time, then that counts against you. Or if you fail to submit or update your whereabouts in time by a certain deadline, that counts against you too.
So that was what, in this case, was
but
the,
it's a really,
the violation.
it's the only way that the doping authorities can test you, but also it is I would say a flaw as well, because if you know the only time you have to be a certain time is 6 or 7 a.m. and you were trying to cheat, and I'm sure there'll be a way around doing something in the other 23 hours.
And that's
I don't know the science behind the various different compounds that would be detectable in different
at different times.
Yeah.
And that is fascinating, about the times. But, when we talk about Chep and Getich and some of these other violations that have happened recently, this is why when we hear about a record that's been smashed or broken, I have a certain amount of skepticism.
Yeah.
About
I think definitely when it's...
I'm not as excited as I used to be.
Isn't it?
You have to wait for time to pass and go, right, well, we're a couple of years on, right, that's amazing, that person's cemented.
Yeah.
Everyone agrees that some runners, have just passed that test of time and we know that they're great and legal runners. But I just have that skepticism, that initial skepticism now, which is probably a bit sad.
Well, but it's what I said earlier on. There will still be records in the books, and there will still be people in the historical results that are sat as medalists at major championships. Those results still stand, even though they've subsequently been found to be dopers. So yeah, it's something really close to my heart. It nearly ruined my career in 2011 when I just felt like I just couldn't compete
with the dopers.
Yeah, I didn't in my mind think about it because you can't, because I think you would lose yourself down that rabbit hole. I was just thinking I'm doing everything I can, and then I basically overtrained and tried too many other things like long stints at altitude and stuff to try to see if I could get that little bit better. And yeah, there might be an element I just wasn't good enough necessarily, but also it's proven that a whole bunch of people that I competed against did cheat. So it's not without foundation.
Well, if you have any questions about doping, then we are going to be doing an episode on this very, very soon. So get your questions into podcast@therunningchannel.com and we will try and answer as many as we can. We're also going to be getting a bit of an expert on to do this doping episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get a deep dive.
And I would encourage people to ask the questions that they don't think, there'll be a whole bunch of questions that the BBC Sport or whatever at the Olympics probably can't answer.
But we will.
Yeah, there's no question that's too stupid. Like we've had, and I'm happy to give real detail about the actual tests that they do as well. Like you have to provide a urine sample to people. That has to happen in a really specific way, which is really embarrassing. But it's a day-to-day part of the sport. So we should, if there are any questions about how it works, the whereabouts systems, people have tested positive for different things. I will do my best to answer them, or if we get them in enough advance notice, we'll get a real expert to give us the answers.
Great. Questions.
George Howell from Lincolnshire. Hello, you lovely lot. I'm a teacher. So I'm on my summer holidays at the moment, and it means I'm out running a lot more than during term time. As such, I'm trying to find ways to make the old routes a little bit more interesting. And I've come up with an idea, which could be perfect for Rick, given his recent love of fartlek and his proclivity for all things musical. I call it running roulette.
Musical's a stretch, I think.
Potentially. I've made a playlist on Spotify of as many songs I can find that have a length between 4:10 and 5:30. Before a run, I shuffle the playlist, and whatever comes up, this is how long I have to complete the next kilometre of my run. It's been great at keeping things fresh and provides a fab workout too. Thanks for accompanying me on many runs and for all the science-based banter.
He does also say,
you just glossed over a line which says, unfortunately, The Last Man on Earth is a little bit too short for the playlist, which reminds me, we have not had an update on the Undercarriage Carnage album in a while.
Especially for George Howell in Lincolnshire, I can tell him that I will make sure that Undercarriage Carnage is between 4:10 and 5:30.
Perfect.
Nobody wants to hear you sing for that long.
Modern Dilemmas.
I think we just need to find someone that can run a 2-minute kilometre.
It's been a busy summer, but we'll squeeze it in. I'm just looking for a studio to record it in.
Right.
Yeah. Let me know.
One that is, I'm guessing, soundproof and has some mics in it.
That's right.
I love this.
Where would we find one of those?
I'm trying to gloss over this because I really don't want to give Rick's horrible music any more airtime.
Yeah.
I love this idea. Imagine your playlist and then looking down at your watch or your phone and seeing a song come up and it's like, 4:10. Oh, wow. Now I've got to pick up the pace for the next kilometre.
Yeah.
And then, American Pie is probably about 8 minutes long, isn't it? So if we put American Pie on, then we're on quids in.
Yeah. But then that's so good because then you get to the end of the song as well. So it's really nice and neat.
Yeah. Timing
I might try that. So how would you do it? Like a 30-minute kind of tempo-y threshold, or just do like 20 minutes of it? Or would you do it for the whole run?
I think it probably depends on how extreme the paces are relative to your intervals and threshold paces.
If you do throw Last Man on Earth, I think.
Yeah, and if you're genuinely putting it on shuffle as well, then you've got to be prepared for the fact that you could have, in this case for George,
4:10, 4:12,
yes,
4:13,
exactly, and then like 5.5 minutes.
5:30. Yeah.
It is basically fault-like though.
The
Yes, it is,
temptation to
but
press
it's
skip.
the times are, you don't know what times are going to come up because you've put it on shuffle, and the time you've just pre-programmed the range of paces at which you'll run.
But how do you know?
Running roulette.
How do you know how fast you got to run?
Well,
if
the
you don't know how long the song's going to be,
Well, you
it
don't
might just
until it
finish
starts.
suddenly. It might not have a fade.
No, because you can see how long the
Yeah, you
song
need to look
is.
at a screen.
So you're looking at your phone and
yeah.
going, right, okay, this song is 4:10.
So every time
I'm
the song
running at
changes
4:10.
over,
Oh, you got to look at your phone.
Does the length of song come up on your watch if you're playing it through your watch?
it might do. I reckon you could program it too, and then you might also be able to do something clever in your headphones to get it to read it out.
But I do like that is clever.
Absolutely won't be able to do
Yeah.
any of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But, and a final interesting fact. So we polled all of the Running Channel Club members on do you run when you're on holiday or not? Guess what the result was?
I reckon more than well over half.
Andy?
So how many run on holiday?
Yeah.
I would go with Rick. Yeah, like 60%.
90%.
Oh,
90%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Answered yes. 10%
Keen.
said no. I'm guessing the rest, anyone who didn't vote, was on holiday.
We
May or may not
We
have
should
been
do a
running.
follow-up poll, which is how many pairs of running shoes do you take on holiday?
that is
See,
it.
I'm a 1.
It depends how long I'm going for. If it's just like 3 or 4 days, 1. But yeah, I took 2 pairs away with me.
But you
I
can
don't
get dual
think I've
use.
ever packed a pair of
So I
carbon
took
plates.
one just for running, but second for kind of dual use, kind of
Like
Milling
daytime,
about.
milling about.
daytime milling about.
Yeah.
Great.
Nice to be back together.
It's lovely to be in the same
lovely,
room.
hasn't
Yeah.
it?
And if you have a moment, you got 5 minutes spare, vote for us at the British Podcast Awards.
Either the Space Running Space channel or the Running Channel, or all caps the Running Channel, or
Please try all
lowercase,
combinations.
the Running Channel.
Yeah.
Maybe title case.
We just don't know.
People's choice. People's choice.
We just don't know.
Listener's
It's
Oh,
a
listeners' choice.
People's Choice
People's
Awards.
choice.
Steady on, Rick.
Sorry, listeners' choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, listener's choice.
Yeah.
And by the time we record, this is going out on Saturday, the day after. So I don't know when people are going to be listening to this. I'm running my half marathon.
Oh,
Newark
Newark,
Half
here we
Marathon.
come.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much. So we'll get a reveal of how all of that's gone next week in next week's podcast.
So excited. See you then. Bye-bye.
bye.